وعلى بقية الصحابة التابعين رضوان الله تعالى عليهم أجمعين. يا أيها المؤمنون الحاذرون اتقوا الله تعالى وأطيعوا إن الله مع الذين اتقوا والذين هم محسنون. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. All praises are due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Lord of the universes. All praises are due to Allah who created everything from nothing. All praises are due to Allah who is beyond description and understanding. All praises are due to Allah who created Adam alayhi salam from water and clay and honored the Bani Adam, the children of Adam. All praises are due to Allah who sent the most honored one in divine presence, Sayyidina Muhammad alayhi salam, as the mercy to the universes. And may all peace and blessings be upon the Sultan of the messengers, the Imam of the prophets, the intercessor on the day of judgment, the guide of the saints, the grandfather of Hassan and Hussein, Sayyidina Muhammad alayhi salam, and upon his noble family and blessed companions, especially upon the four Khulafai Rashidin, Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq, Hazrat Umar Farooq, Hazrat Uthman al-Ghani, and Hazrat Ali al-Murtaza, and all those who follow them until the last day. Ya ayyuhal mu'minun, all believers, welcome to you on this holy day of Jummah, which is also the 10th of Muharram, the holy day of Ashura. Today is a tremendous day in the history of this world. Today is the day that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepted the tawbah of our father Adam. It is the day that he saved Nuh alayhi salam and his companions in their ship. It is the day that he saved Ibrahim alayhi salam from the fire of Nimrud. It is the day that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rescued Musa alayhi salam from Firaun. It is the day that Ayub alayhi salam was cured. It is the day that Yaqub alayhi salam was reunited with his son, Hazrat Yusuf alayhi salam. It is the day that Yunus alayhi salam was released from the belly of the fish. It is the day that Dawood alayhi salam was forgiven. It is the day that Sulaiman alayhi salam was given the kingdom. And it is the day that Isa alayhi salam was raised to the paradises. And that is why, for all of history, the prophets and the saints, they are honoring this day. And one of the ways that we honor this day, as we have been taught by our Shaykh, it is through fasting. The Holy Prophet ﷺ is saying, on the day of Ashura, I hope that Almighty Allah will make this day a means of erasing past sins. So this should be a day of reflection for the believers, to look at what has happened in history and connect ourselves to that. And yes, on this day of Ashura, one of the most significant events in the history of Islam happened. The beloved grandson of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, Sayyidina Hussein alayhi salam, was martyred in Karbala. O believers, we should not be heedless about this just to say, yes, we are very sad that Hazrat Hussein was killed. No. And this year, 1437, is very unusual because the 10th of Muharram is falling on Jummah. And the 10th of Muharram was also falling on a Jummah, the day that Hazrat Hussein was martyred. So we should not let this day pass by without connecting ourselves to it, without connecting ourselves to that event, without taking a lesson from that event. What lesson are we going to take? So many people today, they are taking that event that happened at Karbala and using it wrongly. The Shias are using it wrongly for over 1,000 years, beating themselves, whipping themselves, cutting themselves, but running away from the Sunnah and the lifestyle of Hazrat Hussein. So many Wahhabi type people who are calling themselves Sunni are saying, well, we don't care what happened to Hazrat Hussein. It's not important. Don't think about it. Remembering it is a bid'at. So with all these wrong thinkings, what is the correct way to take lesson from what happened to Hazrat Hussein and the Ahlul Bayt in Karbala? We must take lesson from the awliya Allah, from the grandchildren of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, and from those ones who are connected to Hazrat Hussein with an unbroken chain. We must take the lesson from those ones who are really holding the title of Husseini. And our Shaykh, Sahibul Saif, Sheikh Abdul Karim al-Kabrisi Rabbani, whose noble bloodline goes back to the Holy Prophet ﷺ and Sayyidina Hussein. He is such a person. When Shaykh Effendi is describing these events to us, he's not doing it from a book. He's not doing it from notes. He's seeing, he's experiencing, and he's describing. And he is telling us what happened at Karbala, saying, that night before the battle, Hazrat Hussein spoke to the people around him. It was dark. There was no moon. He said to them, you all came here with me, I know. So many of you want to leave. So many of you were thinking that Yazid is just bluffing. But he is not. By tomorrow noontime, we may not be here. So many of you are around me because you're waiting for me to be Khalifa and for you to have the dunya. The door is open to you. I will not complain about you on the Day of Judgment, that you left me alone. I know after all this, after this many days, you are feeling shy to leave. But you really don't want to be here. He said to them, there is no moon tonight. I'm going inside my tent. By Fajr prayer, you can leave. Every one of you in that darkness, I will never complain about you. They screamed, Ya Hussein, our lives sacrificed for you. Hazrat Hussein entered to his room. When Fajr entered, he came out. He found only his family around him. The rest all left. And the next day, when that battle of Karbala, one by one the family of the Holy Prophet ﷺ was martyred. What is the lesson that we must take? So many people, they claim that they were loving Hazrat Hussein too. That they were loving Hazrat Ali. So many people are claiming. They were claiming that they were loving the Ahlul Bayt. But when the times became difficult, when the time for words finished, and the time for action came, so many people, they betrayed. We cannot say that we are better than those people. No. We have that betrayal inside of us. And we must work very hard to get rid of that so that when the time comes, we're going to remain loyal to our Shaykh. Just like what happened in the time of the Ottoman Empire. And there was one Shaykh who had thousands of murids. And some people started making fitna and going to the Sultan saying, Ya Sultan, this Shaykh has so many people around him and he's going to make a rebellion against you. So that Ottoman Sultan called that Shaykh into his presence and said, this is what they are saying about you. The Shaykh smiled and said, oh my Sultan, I only have 1.5 murids. And the Sultan was shocked, saying, you have thousands of people around you, following you. How are you saying you only have 1.5 murids? And the Shaykh said, oh my Sultan, tomorrow call the people and see what happens. So the next day the Sultan called all the people. And the field, the Maidan, it was full of people who said that they were murids of the Shaykh, who had given bayat to him, who had promised their lives to him. And the Sultan made an announcement saying, this Shaykh has committed crimes against the state and his punishment is death. And the people started crying out, saying, you cannot do this, our lives are sacrificed for our Shaykh. The Sultan then spoke, saying, if 10 murids are willing to die in the place of their Shaykh, then I will lift the death penalty from him. The Maidan became very quiet. Only one man called out and said, I will die for my Shaykh. So they took him to a tent to the side where they had some sheep, and they cut the sheep. And the blood started to come out of the tent, and the people became terrified. And the Sultan asked, is there anyone else? And one woman said, I will die for my Shaykh. And they took her in the tent and they cut one more sheep. And when the people saw the blood and all those people who had made so many promises to the Shaykh, they disappeared and they ran away. So the Shaykh said to the Sultan, "O my Padishah, I told you I only have 1.5 murid." And the Sultan asked, "Ya Shaykh, is the man your full murid and the woman your half murid?" The Shaykh said, "It is the opposite. The man volunteered to die not knowing what would happen to him. The woman walked to the tent without any doubt. She was walking to her death." This is real. This is not a fairy tale. Karbala is not a fairy tale. These are real tests that the believers before us went through. The one who passed the test, they are honored in this life and the next life. This world, this dunya, it will betray us. This dunya, it will betray us. The people of dunya will betray us. Our wealth, our children, our family, as the Quran Kareem is saying, it is all a confusion. The only thing that is real, the only thing that is permanent, the only thing that will last forever, it is the love of the friend of Allah, the love of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, the love of Allah. Live for that. Die for that. As Sahib al-Sayf is saying, we have so many incidents that are waiting for us. This is not a fairy tale. I know that none of you have understood the seriousness of this. I know. Maybe you will. Before that, maybe you will, and I hope that you will understand. There is nothing worth in this dunya and everything in it to sacrifice for. Believe me. Sacrifice yourself for Allah and for His Prophet, for His religion. There is nothing else. That time, you live forever. That time, you are going to live forever. You are going to gain that forever. Ya ayyuhal mu'minun. O believers, take the lesson of Ashura. Don't let this day to pass like another day. In this day, we must make the intention and renew the intention to be a loyal one to our Shaykh, to make the intention not to change for anything, to make the intention to be like Hazrat Hussein. We're ending, inshallah rahman, with the words of Hazrat Sultan Bahu, who is saying, a real murid is one who is ready to die for his master in every moment. He will never betray his promise. He will never turn his back, even if a sword cuts him into 1,000 pieces. The love of Hussein and Ali was true, O Bahu. They sacrificed their lives, but never gave up their promise. O believers, in this day of Ashura, inshallah rahman, may we be given the faith of Hazrat Hussein. Amen. Astaghfirullah. Astaghfirullah. Astaghfirullah lazim alazi la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum wa atubu ilayhi. La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah, lahul mulku wa lahul hamdu wa kullu shay'in qadir. La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah, lahul mulku wa lahul hamdu wa kullu shay'in qadir. La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah, lahul mulku wa lahul hamdu wa kullu shay'in qadir. La ilaha illa anta subhanaka in kuntu minaz zalimin. La ilaha illa anta subhanaka in kuntu minaz zalimin. La ilaha illa anta subhanaka in kuntu minaz zalimin. Subuhun kudusun rabbuna rabbul malaikati war ruh. Subuhun kudusun rabbuna rabbul malaikati war ruh. Subuhun kudusun rabbuna rabbul malaikati war ruh. Inna dina indallah al-Islam. Qam as-salah.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح وقد قامت الصلاة وقد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله